Hey, this is Craig from 9 Volt Games, and today we are reviewing Portal 2 on the Xbox 360. Okay, so right here, right in the beginning of the game, you wake up 9,999 years in the future. Civilization is over. You're the last person alive, and of course, you're going to do nothing but test. Right off the bat, I'm going to tell you that you're not going to see a lot of gameplay in this, simply because pretty much after the first hour of the game, if I was to show you any gameplay whatsoever, it would absolutely ruin the story for you. And this review is covering the single player, so we don't want to ruin the whole purpose of the game. The guy who just went up there, that's Wheatley. He acts as your guide right in the beginning of the game. Wheatley is pretty hilarious in the game, as well as GladOS is back. That's not ruining anything for you. Of course you know she's back. And there's another character in here called Cave Johnson, the owner and originator of Aperture Science. You get to meet him halfway through the game. You go down into the old 1950s, 60s style labs, and you do that. Since you're not going to see a lot of gameplay, I'll just cover some of the new upgrades that you'll be using. Obviously, you get the portal gun, not right in the beginning, but you do get it. And then you get a thing called the repulsion gel, which is a blue gel that allows you to bounce. You get the propulsion gel, which is just as it sounds. It helps you go faster when you're moving on it, which you can use to jump over gaps, or you can jump over pits. You can. I think there's one. Yeah, there's one point where you can run forward through a portal, and it ends up launching you up. So that's pretty cool. There's also conversion gel, which makes any surface a portal surface that you launch it at, which is pretty cool. There's one point in the game where I thought there would be an achievement for painting an entire room white with conversion gel, and it doesn't do it, so do not waste your time doing that. Yeah, and then you get what is it, traction beams. You can launch yourself into them, and it pushes you one certain way, so you got to figure out which way will take you to where you want to go. The first half of the game looks much like this. Actually, the test chambers have been destroyed. There's, plants growing in it and whatnot, and probably has something to do with you destroying the facility in the first game. But yeah, I mean, the game's pretty fun. The length is decent if you played the first one, which I don't know why you wouldn't have if you're even watching this review. If you played the first one, you know that the length was 2 hours. You could beat the game easily in 2 hours. This one, 6 to 8 hours, depending on your mental capacity. It's fun all the way through. It's definitely one of the best single player experiences you're ever gonna get in a game, like to date. It's one of the most fun. It's hilarious. The whole game's hilarious all the way through. The one thing that we're going to have to take points from is that it's actually not that challenging. I mean, there's going to be a couple points where you absolutely have no idea where to go. Hey, it's repulsion gel. There's going to be a couple points in the game that you don't know where to go. And it's like no direction. But it's few and far between. Pretty much everything goes smoothly. You might have a couple rooms where you got to do it over a couple times because you die, and then all of a sudden you get it. It clicks. So yeah, lack of challenge. In single player, there's no more advanced maps, which I don't get why they took out. But since there's no more advanced maps, it kind of takes away from the single player. But they did add a lot of multiplayer component as the co-op mode. But since we're not covering that, it won't factor into this score. So the game's funny. The experience is definitely unique here. You're not going to get a game experience like this anywhere else. It's fun as hell. It does make you think occasionally. When you have to use all three gels together, like, that's crazy. But yeah, it's definitely it's got a few twists in it, which is why you're not seeing a lot of gameplay. The game itself, I think, it'll have people talking. I know people on Twitter are already talking about it. I've quoted it a million times. So I'm going to have to give it, for lack of extra single-player things such as the advanced chambers, I will give it a 4 out of 5 stars, because the regular single-player experience is it's solid all the way through. Good job, Valve. Thank you for watching.